There's many diverse countries around the world, and I believe we tend to overlook the small countries. For example, Jordan. For this speech, I will talk about the culture of Jordan compared to the United States, which will hopefully help us conduct business with them in the near future. I have been doing research on countries around the continent of Asia, and I found out Jordan was the smallest one. It is alongside Israel and Palestine. I will first start by talking about the cultural overview and its history. Then I will transition into comparing it with the United States as a society. And then lastly, I will cover a recent news story I found about Jordan. Let's start with the history. According to Culturegram, it is located in the southwestern part of Asia. Many civilizations have reigned. The last one, the reign were the Ottoman Turks, which started in 1516. Then, with the Great Arab Revolt of 1916, they stopped reigning. After that, the British provided aid for them, and slowly but surely they gained their independence. This happened until 1946. The ruler right now is King Abdullah II. They heavily rely on tourism and their natural resources, for example, phosphate and limestone. Their services account for 2/3 of the economy. However, they are greatly in debt. As a matter of fact, they have a lot of unemployment, and most people there are underemployed. Now that we have talked about the culture and history, let's compare it to the United States. Unlike the United States, it is composed of a constitutional monarchy. People have little constitutional rights. They don't have freedom of the press, for example. And if you talk bad about the government, it is considered a serious crime and could bring even worse consequences. Jordan is considered a collectivist society, meaning they take care of others, they provide for others, they believe in founding solid relationships. This is the complete opposite of the United States. They actually have an individualist society, meaning we care for our own good and our own benefit. We just look for that. Now let's talk about their customs and courtesies. They typically receive you with a warm handshake. They always like for you to have a proper posture, and as a matter of fact, if you turn their back against them, it is considered a sign of disrespect. They eat their main meal from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and they might do a short prayer before they eat the meal, and they always eat their meal with coffee. I believe it is Turkish coffee. Now that we have talked about the history and culture of Jordan and compared it to the United States, I would like to talk about the recent news story. This was provided by the US News. So they actually just removed the COVID ban. This means that visitors no longer required to take a PCR test for COVID. They are only required to sign a pledge. This pledge says that if you have COVID-like symptoms, you are required to test for COVID and even remain in quarantine. This is important because, like I said, Jordan heavily relies on tourism, and this is the opportunity for them to revive that. And this also lets us create a fruitful relationship with them in the future. Now that we have spoken about the culture, history, talked about the recent news story, and also compared it to the United States, let's review some topics. To start off, Jordan is a country that recently gained its independence. They are a country that have a ruler and a firm belief in creating solid and firm relationships. This means we must have respect for their values and beliefs and remain courteous in order to progress along with them. I hope you learned a few things about Jordan and get ready to conduct a business trip with me. Thank you for your time.